convert opportunities into goals, isn't it? It's gonna be a pass from the right hand side. It's gonna be number 3 who has the ball from the right hand side by his team. And this is a golden opportunity now to convert this into a goal, but that will not be a goal, guys. That will be a good save from the midfielder there. And we are still going on and on and on and on. Kanji, who has the ball from the right hand side. Kovacic to number 5 now. Jack Grealish, who has the ball from the right hand side in the center. So guys, Newcastle United playing against the Manchester City in a big game today. And let's see who wins today's game. What do you think, Manchester City or Newcastle United? I believe this is going to be...
They didn't get much of a chance in terms of shots on goal in Italy, but they'll be hoping they get 1 or 2 more opportunities this evening.
Yeah, there have been a few opportunities in the other games. Aston Villa have gone a goal behind to Everton. Blackburn 1, Cardiff 1, Brentford 0, Arsenal 1. I think Reece Nelson scored that. Fulham 1, Norwich 0. The other goal scored at Anfield, Liverpool 0, Leicester 1, and that was I think Kelsey McAteer. Anyway, here is Kovacic now. Here is Ake. Was going to leave it, but so too was Jack Grealish. So in the end, they didn't want to leave it to each other. Calvin Phillips, a sort of rare run out for him, other than in his England colours, where it seems that Gareth Southgate's more likely to start him than for a start for Man City. As the cross comes in, he's partially blocked off Tino Livramento, who I think we probably are both fans of when we saw him at Southampton, virtually from debut, or he might have been a loanee from Chelsea at the time, but he just looked like he was a quality player, and I think injuries has really played a big part in his problem, but good to see him on the comeback trail.
Absolutely. He's barely played, has he, for 18 months, which is why Newcastle, coupled with Southampton's relegation, were able to get him relatively cheaply, and he's not really figured so far, unsurprisingly playing understudy to Kieran Trippier, but he will get more games as the season goes on, and we've got a couple of exciting wing-backs come full-backs from Chelsea, Newcastle, haven't they, with Lewis Hall on the other side. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they settle in this back four. Just look at hearing before kick-off, never played together before, so there's a few areas, square pegs and round holes, if you like for Newcastle, that they're going to have to iron out during this game.
Yeah, we're just trying to find Jacob Murphy on the field to see if he's still hobbling around. Meanwhile, the defence splits, and although he's the club captain, Jamal Lascelles doesn't get much of a look in, puts Livramento under a little bit of pressure, but he comes back out with the ball, plays a lovely first-time ball back, and he's inside. It's all good stuff, that. And then there's a foul. There's Alvarez. He's too keen. Just tackling back there on Lewis Miley, who just got goal side and the right side of him. It's kind of like you're welcome to the game, isn't it, for the youngster? But I guess he would, can it? At 6'1", Lewis Miley might be 17, but he looks big enough and ugly enough to look after himself. As we see a poor foul there. Looks like Phillips went through the back of his man, and that was Lewis Hall on the other side.
Yeah, Lewis Hall does well. I think he senses it, if nothing else, that Phillips is coming in with the challenge. Just positions his body between man and ball. Knows he's going to take a bit of a whack for his troubles, but he draws the free kick. Maybe a little bit of rustiness there from Calvin Phillips, trying to nick a ball he was never really going to get on the end of.
Yeah, he did attack the ball a lot when he's at Leeds, and I think I actually had played quite well for England. I thought he played almost the full 90 minutes against Scotland. I thought he might have been taken off and been a bit rusty, but he kept going. I thought for the first half hour as well, he did a particularly good job in helping to dominate a pretty good Scottish midfield, the likes of Gilmore and what have you in there, and McGinn. Anyway, we break off because, well, that's a poor bit of control really from Lewis Hall. Rico Lewis is on him like a flash and takes the ball away from him. Then Akanji finds Hall, finds Bob, and he's ball the outstep of his left boot. Not quite good enough. Well, clearly he's all left foot. That much is apparent. But that can be a problem unless you're an absolute genius. You don't want to be too one-footed, do you?
Well, there's the Lionel Messi comparison, isn't it? The left foot. Messi, not bad on his right, but is predominantly left-footed, as we know. But I've not really seen any of the youngsters really settle into proceedings as of yet. One or two fleeting touches here and there, but yeah, it's not really settled down as a contest. City are seeing a bit more of the ball, but neither side showing any real attacking intent.
I tell you what it is, Tom, it's boring.
I was going for the diplomatic approach.
Not one effort on goal. We want to see a bit more, don't we? Lots of endeavour and bits and pieces of passing. Alvarez on the ball now. Good little semicircle. Takes him away from would-be attackers and means he can recycle the ball. Phillips, Kovacic again. Calvin Phillips can pass the ball pretty well. As now we see raking ball from Akanji, but well, Grealish does well to keep it in on his chest. Rolls his foot over the ball. Murphy just walking towards him, but he looks like he's all right now. The awkward little moment earlier where I don't know if his right or left knee seemed to buckle under him under no real sort of pressure, but he's all right. Anyway, Man City is certainly dominating possession, not necessary territory. They roll over the halfway line now. Rico Lewis finds a challenge in behind from Joel Linton, but they come away with the ball. And here they are again, down the right-hand side. Opportunity then for Bob. He's all left foot, but I wonder if he's got the ability to try and go around the back of somebody. Is he always going to cut in? Again, he's hugging the touchline. The ball evades him this time as Gomez is on it. Shapes to go to him, goes back. Joel Linton picks a pocket though, and now Isak, who's a great slalomer there. He evades one challenge and two, and then maybe he can get a run into the box. He's good at that, but well, the defending is precise from Guardiola, who just read that run. I mean, it's brilliant stuff from Isak. I don't think there's anybody better in the Premier League on the half turn than him. But he ran into one of the better defenders in the league. Yeah,
he's good play all round. Lovely initially from Isak. Hall perfectly weights the ball back through to him. And he's one-on-one against Josko Gvardiol. And that's a 75, 80 million pound defender he's up against. And he stood his ground, did really well. Didn't dive in. Was making Isak make all of the decisions. In the end, he probably twisted and turned a little bit too much. And the defender was able to pinch the ball away.
Here is Tonali. Made a great debut, didn't he? Could have got a hat-trick on debut. I think that was against Aston Villa. Might not necessarily be a shoo-in into the team, though. Might have to work for it a bit. Looking at Isak's run again. Little in and out. And he's good at that. Again, Callum Wilson seems to be the man in possession now. I think he sort of had half a bad game at Isak, and then Wilson comes off the bench, scores, and it's like, oh, off we go. He'd be unlucky not to get in, and I think the other thing is, in the past he might have got in the team as an inside left, one of the front three, but it looks like Anthony Gordon might have that stitched up as well. So anyway, City making a break down the right. Good chance here for Gomez. Gets the cross in, got too deep in the end. Alvarez thinking about it, but the ball really floated over his head and didn't give him any chance.
I don't think it's a bad ball though from Sergio Gomez. Unusual to see him on the right hand side. Wants to drop in on that left foot. It's just a little bit too high for Alvarez. A little bit too far in front of Grealish as well. It was neither one or the other, but it was into an area where he'd be hoping that a City player might be attacking.
Yeah, it's right. Maybe Grealish didn't continue his run on there. I don't think it was that good a ball really. Anyway, Ake's got a bit of work to do, goes back to his keeper. Ortega takes a touch, and just for a moment it looked like he's going to get the ball nicked off him, but he wasn't, and the ball's back in play. But it's back with the Magpies. Target tidies up, then it's Tonali in the middle, all the way back to Lascelles, and he gets it out of his feet, and building in the middle. Oft times they can be dominated in the middle of the park in this 4-3-3. But again, Joelinton does well, the Brazilian, and ball goes wide out to left. Lewis Hall is trying to at times get ahead of Joe Linton. He might actually be left wing today with Joe Linton in his more usual now midfield slot. I think that's probably the case.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Joe Linton's energy in the middle of the park really helps, and as you say, for the best part of the year now, he's been playing as part of that midfield three. Hall, left back, left wing back, he just pushed a little bit further on, and maybe that gives them a bit more protection down that side of the pitch as well, with Target and Dummett also in that area.
So just for the moment, Akanji on the ball. It's not a great ball back. Guardiola then to Grealish, who just gets tagged there by Livramento and goes down. 14 minutes, and it's been a long 14 minutes, I think. Anyway, there are still one or two tiddlers in the competition, and one of those, with all due respect to the Imps, the mighty Imps of Lincoln, is them, but they've gone a goal up against West Ham, I think. We'll confirm that for you in a second. As again, City have the ball. Grealish then going to take Livramento on, is he? Drops the shoulder. Livramento keeps the foot in, does well, but Grealish comes away with the ball. Just Ake on his inside to Calvin Phillips then, and he has a go. I'm not going to write that down though, Tom, because it wasn't much of a goal, but at least it was propelled somewhere toward the goal, blocked away outside the box. Ake now picks it up, and again the Yorkshire Pirlo has it. Hasn't been able to exhibit his range of skills really for City, but I would think that he still thinks it's a pretty good move when he surveys his medals that he's picked up from the year that he's been there. He'd be happy enough, I guess.
Yeah, and he may have an opportunity in the team now for a couple of games with the sending off Rodri had at the weekend against Nottingham Forest. 3-game ban, this is the first of those, so decent performance this evening. Phillips, he may keep his place in the side at the weekend. I was reading earlier, this is just his 5th start across all competitions since joining City, so yeah, he really hasn't seen that much football. You alluded to his still playing for England semi-regularly. I'm pretty sure, without seeing the stats, he's probably started more than 5 games for England over the same period.
Yeah, it's weird that, but you join Man City and you've got to take your chances, and it'd be hard to argue that he's a better player than Rodri. Anyway, Lincoln didn't score, by the way, so false alarm there. Just terrifying all the West Ham listeners, but anyway, it is goalless. 16 minutes in. I don't even think that Erling Haaland would have made a difference tonight, because certainly Julian Alvarez has not really had the ball, has he?
No. Alexander Isak, bar that little run we saw a few minutes ago, hasn't really touched it at the other end either. We've had that one effort from Calvin Phillips a minute or so ago, which shot from about 30 yards out, didn't make it to the penalty area before it was blocked, and that's probably the closest we've come to someone troubling the target.
Yeah, I don't know. We've got any games, Tom, that we can play while we're watching? Bit of canasta? I don't even know what that is. Anyway, Man City have the ball. It's Kovacic again. They've seen plenty of it, the Citizens, and I would say they're playing a little bit better. Kovacic continues his run now. He is held up by Lewis Miley, just having a little bite at him there. As the ball again with Grealish, again just rolls his foot over it. Takes a look to far post. He drags it back on his inside. Kovacic again. Ake was on the overlap, but not being used. Ball with Calvin Phillips. And then with Rico Lewis, that inverted fullback role that City likes so much. Nathan Ake back on it. And, well, I seem to be listing names, but we're not really getting anywhere, are we? The City working their way backwards now.
Yeah, I mean, they're keeping the ball pretty well, City, as you'd expect them to do. But Newcastle are pretty set in their defensive shell. It's a 4-5-1 out of possession, isn't it? And even Isak's dropping into his own half to get behind the ball at times. So that's the Newcastle game plan, understandably so, against Manchester City, I suppose. And for the time being, it's frustrating the Premier League leaders.
Yeah, but now Bob picks the ball up. He drives towards goals, all left foot, but he finds Alvarez, puts the ball wide of him, a shot comes in. He's saved by the outstretched, dabbed toe of Nick Pope. That is something to write down.
Yeah, that was a good Manchester City break, an incisive ball through the middle from Phillips. Bob showed good composure, turned. I thought maybe he could have drove a little bit further. His pass sends Alvarez a little wide. Alvarez does what he can, gets it on target, goes back across Nick Pope, who, for me, at first view, seems a little bit unorthodox in the way he saved that. He's still standing, stretches out a right toe and pokes it away, but he did make the save and got it out of the danger zone. And as you mentioned, John, there, that's by far and away the closest we've come to a goal so far.
Yeah, I felt like you did there, that Oscar Bob might have had a go. It all opened up in front of him, and then he lays off a pretty poor pass actually to Alvarez. Those like short passes, they're rolling into space, never quite as easy as they seem, are they? To get right, he may as well have taken it on there, really.
Yeah, and maybe if he was 5 or 6 starts into his Manchester City career, a little bit more senior, he'd have had the confidence to do so. I mean, Alvarez was in a good position, but as you say, those passes when you're moving at pace and defenders are closing you down, and it's not always easy to measure in the way you would like, and he just overcooked it slightly and made it a more difficult chance than it could have been for Alvarez.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure whether the shot actually was going in when I think about it. Maybe hitting the base of the post. Nick Pope didn't know, and he made sure that we were never going to find that out. Anyway, successful pass in the final third. Man City 39, Newcastle 1. Well, that's not the scoreline though, it's 0-0. There's only one stat really that counts. We know that Newcastle will have to play a lot without the ball, but equally we know that they're pretty dynamic. Anyway, the ball now back with the Kanye, little step over from him, and that gets
United
rid of
playing against the Manchester City in a big game today. And let's see who wins today's game. What do you think, Manchester City or Newcastle United? I believe this is gonna be Newcastle United's game, but you can't forget about Manchester City. They are the champions of champions. They have won the Champions League, they have won the Premier League, they are the champions of champions, that's why I said. They are the champions of everywhere. And I can surely tell you one thing, they can be a champion in the EFL Cup as well this season. And I believe that they will have a great chance to win this game today. What do you think? Will they be able to win today's game? Or do you think it's going to be an easy win for the other side? Do not forget to tell me in the comments. And if you've just joined me, make sure to like the video and subscribe the channel. So whenever we go live for any game, guys, you will get a notification for each and every match. Make sure to do that. As you can see, everything is going on right now in front of the screen, in front of everybody here. Newcastle United, Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. This is a big game at the moment which is going on. What's your predictions, guys? You can tell me. You can let us know in the comments whatever your predictions are. Now, here is the chance. Here is the chance to score a goal here. The opportunities, they have not been able to convert these opportunities into goals. And this is what happens when you don't convert opportunities into goals, isn't it? It's gonna be a pass from the right hand side. It's gonna be number 3 who has the ball from the right hand side by his team. And this is a golden opportunity now to convert this into a goal, but that will not be a goal, guys. That will be a good save from the midfielder there. And we are still going on and on and on and on. Kanji, who has the ball from the right hand side. Kovacic to... So guys, Newcastle United playing against the Manchester City in a big game today. And let's see who wins today's game. What do you think, Manchester City or Newcastle United? I believe this is gonna be Newcastle United's game, but you can't forget about Manchester City. They are the champions of champions. They have won the Champions League, they have won the Premier League, they are the champions of champions, that's why I said. They are the champions of everywhere. And I can surely tell you one thing. They can be a champion in the EFL Cup as well this season. And I believe that they will have a great chance to win this game today. What do you think? Will they be able to win today's game? Or do you think it's gonna be an easy win for the other side? Do not forget to tell me in the comments. And if you've just joined me, make sure to like the video and subscribe the channel, so whenever we go live for any game, guys, you will get a notification for each and every match. Make sure to do that. As you can see, everything is going on right now in front of the screen, in front of everybody here. Newcastle United, Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. This is a big game at the moment which is going on. What's your predictions, guys? You can tell me. You can let us know in the comments whatever your predictions are. Now, here is the chance. Here is the chance to score a goal here. The opportunities they have not been able to convert these opportunities into goals. And this is what happens when you don't convert opportunities into goals, isn't it? It's gonna be a pass from the right hand side. It's gonna be number 3 who has the ball from the right hand side by his team. And this is a golden opportunity now to convert this into a goal, but that will not be a goal, guys. That will be a good save from the midfielder there. And we are still going on and on and on and on. Kanji who has the ball from the right hand side. Kovacic to guys, Newcastle United playing against the Manchester City in a big game today. And let's see who wins today's game. What do you think, Manchester City or Newcastle United? I believe this is gonna be Newcastle United's game, but you can't forget about Manchester City. They are the champions of champions. They have won the Champions League, they have won the Premier League, they are the champions of champions, that's why I said. They are the champions of everywhere. And I can surely tell you one thing. They can be a champion in the EFL Cup as well this season. And I believe that they will have a great chance to win this game today. What do you think? Will they be able to win today's game? Or do you think it's gonna be an easy win for the other side? Do not forget to tell me in the comments. And if you've just joined me, make sure to like the video and subscribe the channel, so whenever we go live for any game, guys, you will get a notification for each and every match. Make sure to do that. As you can see, everything is going on right now in front of the screen, in front of everybody here. Newcastle United, Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. This is a big game at the moment which is going on. What's your predictions, guys? You can tell me. You can let us know in the comments whatever your predictions are. Now, here is the chance. Here is the chance to score a goal here. The opportunities they have not been able to convert these opportunities into goals. And this is what happens when you don't convert opportunities into goals, isn't it? It's gonna be a pass from the right hand side. It's gonna be number 3 who has the ball from the right hand side by his team. And this is a golden opportunity now to convert this into a goal, but that will not be a goal, guys. That will be a good save from the midfielder there. And we are still going on and on and on and on. Kanji who has the ball from the right hand side. Kovacic to guys, Newcastle United playing against the Manchester City in a big game today. And let's see who wins today's game. What do you think, Manchester City or Newcastle United? I believe this is gonna be Newcastle United's game. But you can't forget about Manchester City. They are the champions of champions. They have won the Champions League. They have won the Premier League.